Today's video starts in the very busy lobby of the Marriott Marquis. There are so many people here right now. It could be because the parade just ended. Anyway, I'll pan up, and this might be familiar to fans of the Disney Plus series Loki, as it was used as part of the TVA. Now, when some people stay here, they call it the Loki Hotel, and there are quite a few Lokis here today, including myself. I'm dressed as the Renaissance variant of Loki. I'll also wear this outfit at the Oogie Boogie Bash next month. Hey guys, it's Emily. Welcome everyone! Lots to show you on this video. I went to the Star Trek Next Generation panel, which was fantastic. Then I went to the Star Trek Strange New Worlds panel, which was also great. Gonna be a long video this time. Let's go! The TNG panel was in a large room, so I had to zoom all the way in, and I alternated between the video display and the stage.
What's Patrick Stewart really like? To what do you attribute the continuing interest in Star Trek? Tell us a little secret about what's coming with Starfleet Academy. How excited are you for Section 31 with Michelle Yeoh? Take notice.
Come on! Friends!
Nice to see you, Mr. Stewart.
I'm Garrett Wall.
Oh.
I'll be moderating this panel. Let me ask you a question, number one.
I love when you call me that.
If you could live your life again, would you choose to come back as Brent Spiner?
Yes. How did you know? Data has always been my favorite character. However, knowing Brent as well as I do, I find he resembles Lore more.
It says Garrett Wall.
It does, it does.
Should we start answering questions?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
I'm surprised he's late.
Well, let's just do it.
Who's going to start?
Yeah. First question. Yes. Yell. Scream. Okay? Yeah.
Voyager.
No, we're not on Voyager.
Number one, Garrett, late to panel. That's what they say. The late Garrett Wall. What's the most important thing about being an actor? Two things. Know your lines, show up on time. Yep.
We're going to give you a lot of, you know what? Yeah, you're not going to get off easy. No. All right, Garrett.
Hi, so I really loved the episode where your character fell in love with the female identifying androgynous character. I thought that was just a really meaningful and important episode, and I appreciate the queer representation in Strange New Worlds and Lower Decks, and I was wondering, is that something that you think about? Is that important to you? Do you deliberately bring that to your work, Star Trek and otherwise? Thank you.
You're talking about the Outcast, I believe.
Yes.
I wish we could hear you all better.
Yeah, I know, we can't
Yes.
use their mic very well.
I don't think in in the 80s, when I believe that episode was, that Paramount allowed the casting to hire a man to play a part which probably should have been played by a man. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Closed-minded, I would say. Hopefully our minds are open wider by now.
Next question. This question is for Gates.
Hey, Garrett, what do you got for us?
This is Garrett goes, next question.
They brought you all the way out here to go.
You don't have anything to ask.
Question.
Garrett, you of all people.
Yeah.
You do podcasts. You got questions for us, don't you?
But someone just, excuse me, somebody. I mean, how typical is this moment? Thank you. Hello?
Are you talking about
I have a question.
the mansplaining? Was it a question for you? Was it a question for you?
Yes.
Oh. And you felt like we purposely stepped on it.
What's the question for Gates? Please answer. Ask it quickly.
I just wanted to answer the question. What's the question? I'll let Brent answer it, don't worry.
You directed the episode Star Trek Genesis, which is one of the most heavy makeup and cosmetic episodes in Next Generation. Can you tell us a little bit what it was like to direct that episode and your experience as a director for Star Trek Next Generation?
Well, it was really, really fun. We also had an earthquake in Los Angeles during the shooting of it and lost a week. Some people in the crew lost their houses temporarily. It was really amazing. But I'd like to actually do a particular shout out to Patty Yashitake, who passed, and yeah, she was amazing. And she did an extraordinary job, as did everyone in the cast. But the makeup was, to me, some of the very best Michael Westmore ever did. And he wanted to put it in for an Emmy. He did extraordinary prosthetics. Jonathan was incredible. And he and Patty had to wait in this makeup for hours and hours. And I'm sure you wanted to kill me, but what they did was extraordinary. And even when Patty, you know, she's with a blanket and she's unconscious and she still had this little hand scratching the hair, the fake hair on her chest. I mean, I loved all of the details that came out that the actors did. So yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I got to use things that I'd never used before, like those medical jars. That was one of my favorite things. Never had those jars in all the years, 7 years had not been used. No one knew what they contained. I kept saying, is it candy? Is it like, what's in those jars? My wigs? What? And so I actually got to have a piece of Data's skin went into one of the jars, and I went, finally, there's a reason for those jars.
I'll tell you one thing which as actors we all appreciate. I was having Barry Boswick and I were having dinner, and I use this quote now all the time. I said, we were talking about learning lines as we get less younger. And he said, oh, I can learn the lines, I just can't remember them.
Yeah, I would like, as a matter of fact, my dream role right now is a mute.
My dream role is to just play myself. Cranky, you know, giving looks, you know, very few lines.
All right, here's a question for everyone from Discord. Have you discovered the late night puppet slam at DRAGONCON yet?
No, but I've heard about it.
For Gates?
I go to bed at 9, what are you talking about?
I heard there was a Riker competition here.
There it is. It's the Riker game.
First of all, I hadn't been invited to it. I at least have a chance to place in the top 5. Even though I'm, you know, less young.
There's 3 trophies, first, second, and third place. We were hoping you would
sign those for the winners. But it's wonderful. They have different activities. One of the events is how to sit in a chair.
You asked me to participate? What? I know it's not the forum for that. I withdraw my question.
Okay, this question on Discord is for Brett Spiner, and it says, I read data was pronounced data in the initial script readings, but Patrick Stewart pronounced it data in the filming of the first episode. There is often a connection between the name and the character. What was going through your head when that happened? Did it affect your portrayal in any way?
Or were you even listening?
You know, I just said the lines, so I didn't think about it much. But, no, I'll tell you, it's a fascinating story, and it'll probably take a good 30 minutes or so. But truly, when we did the first read-through of the script, we were at the Sheraton Hotel in Hollywood, Universal City, and a big ballroom, and everybody was there. Gene Roddenberry and Rick Berman, all the producers, and I think the studio was there. And I mean, you know, John Pike, the studio head at the time, and we never really read anything out loud. And I assumed at that point that my character's name was Data. And, you know, that's what everybody said to me. Oh, you're going to play Data. And I went, okay, great. You know, we start in the script, and all of a sudden I hear, so, Mr. Data. and I said, wait, I'm sorry, can we stop? I said to Gene Roddenberry, is it data or data? And he said, well, there's a new rule, and that's whoever says it first. I was just about to bring that up, and we used that for years. And that's the way it went the rest of the series. And yeah, you were easy. Yeah, the only easy thing about you. So I became data. That point on.
All right, this question is for Jonathan Frakes. What is Patrick Stewart really like?
Favorite film? I can't remember, Johnny.
Hot Shots, Part 2.
Part 2? Not the first one.
Gates, other than TNG, what is your favorite Trek?
Lower Decks. Lower Decks. I do love Lower Decks.
Oh. Jonathan?
Section 31, the upcoming film starring. And what about Starfleet Academy? What's the buzz on that guy?
I don't know. I just know.
Come on!
I know that Tawny's writing on it. Tawny from Lower Decks is a writer on that.
Who invented the Riker maneuver and why?
I think I'll address the second part of your question first. Why? Let's be frank. It's really an asshole maneuver. Think of the type of person who would step over a chair, sit down, and then step back over it to get back. Is that someone you want to know or want to have it? Or is that an asshole maneuver? That was the only thing I liked about Riker. It came to pass that when they built the set for Whoop and the stars and shone upon the early on, they built us 10 forward for Whoopi, and in 10 forward lounge, the chairs had virtually no backs. So you could step into them and sit down. They were like, you know, stools with little, like a comma on top. So it was easy. It wasn't, but then I thought, I've only done it once, I'll do it. I'll try it again. Then it turned into a thing. It turned into a YouTube viral video that I secretly, I'll tell you, very excited about. But the move, and then doing it, you know, I'm sure I didn't do it nearly as often as the compilation suggests. So I live with the decision that I made, as we all do. And I think I'll leave it right there.
and I saw that it was good. There is only one role, R. I will play R.
If that role is taken, S, right? We'll just keep going down the lane. Jonathan, other than your character, who would you play in the world of Trek?
Fun, that helps.
Data. Data, okay.
Data's my favorite character. Let me just go on
Second. All right, Gates.
This is a shitty question.
Lore.
Lore. Love it.
Well, lore, Spot, whatever you want. That's a good answer. I mean, you know, I think Spot needed a little more screen time, but I think Spot had tremendous motivation. I could feel the intention of every move. I felt the character development was extraordinary. And the only hard part was that just about every scene was with Data. But, you know, other than that, I think fantastic.
Do you think if we hadn't had Spot, we wouldn't have Grudge?
Probably.
I'll ponder that.
Grudge is David Ajawa's cat. David Ajawa.
Oh,
Book.
what shows?
Star Trek Discovery.
Wow.
I gotta say this frankly, Grudge, much better actor than Spot.
Very good.
Oh, she doesn't sit there.
Spot, whoa. Spot was so bad. How bad was it?
It was his contract.
That, you know, by the 4th season, we had to put a dog in a cat suit.
Combination of live action and animation.
It was like herding cats. It was reminding me of the Next Generation. Unruly actors who were given permission to ad-lib, which was verboten, as you remember, from all of our shows. At one point, because it was Tawny and Jack Quaid, who were wonderful improvisers, they started to mess around with the lines, and I was with Kaplan and Bill Wyckoff, and I looked at them, they were the writers on the set, and I said, "What do you think?" And we had a little powwow. I said, "It's great, it's just, you know." And it opened up Anson, who's a wonderful comedian, and Rebecca, who's very, very funny. Ethan, it just opened everybody up, and we ran with it, and that became, the laws changed for that episode. And it really, I think, helped the episode immensely. Yeah, so there's a lot of great stuff. My favorite being when our friend Jack Quaid mounted Ensign Mount's saddle.
Riker!
Screamed, "Riker!" And I was sitting behind the camera, and I didn't know he was going to do it, and I ruined the take by laughing. But it was really clever. And it was because we had sort of freed people's improvisations. How do you say that word? Improvisation skills.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
All right. Everything with the new show. Do you ever feel a lot of ownership about that? Like something in the script and you're like, oh, so-and-so wouldn't do it this way. I think I'd do it a different way. And how comfortable are you kind of pushing back on stuff like that?
You know, as relates to the 3rd season of Picard, I don't think we had to push back so much because it was more collaborative than that. We were allowed to, up front, talk to Terry Metalis about, who wrote the script, about what worked and what didn't for us and where we'd like to go with it and where we didn't want to go. And so by the time we actually got to shoot it, we were all pretty much in agreement that was the way to do it.
Also, I think that everybody would agree that is that, you know, from an acting point of view,
I disagree.
from an acting point of view, a big trap could be that you are trying to recreate. And I know that was a question that I had to them for season 2. I said, "Are we doing what I did before? Are we doing perhaps? Are we recreating or creating?" And Terry said creating, and that you kind of go, "Oh my God." and then you can move forward with that. Because lots of time has taken place, and people are different, and on and on and on. And so you can bring yourself to it as opposed to what you were doing maybe 20 years before.
So did Q age the way humans around him age?
Well, I thought of him as being more mature. Also, instead of being quite as self-centered, there was now a reason to be outside of himself and to be concerned about somebody else, in this case, Jean-Luc, in a more, I'm going to use the word again, concerned sort of way, because there was a time limit. In other words, he was a little more generous.
How do you think a musical episode of TNG would have been? And how hard would Gates dominated with her dance moves? How do you think a musical episode of TNG would have been? And how hard would Gates dominated with her dance moves?
Well, yes. I'll let the others answer that. It would have been great to do this.
Yeah, we would have loved to do a musical, because most of us had musical backgrounds.
Great voices, great voices.
And I don't know if Patrick, did Patrick ever do music? Oh, yeah, well, I saw Patrick do Sweeney Todd, actually, with Lynn Redgrave.
Wow, I didn't know that.
What? Yeah. He did it at the Hollywood Bowl, actually.
The whole show?
The whole show.
No.
Yes. And it was absolutely terrible. Sweeney Todd is Sondheim, very difficult stuff to sing. And there was, neither one of them really were singers.
Oh my God.
Or Lynn Redgrave. And there was this one particularly difficult duet, very, very difficult music. And neither one of them were singing the right music. And the audience was loving it. I went backstage, and Carol Burnett...
What did you say?
No, I said, that was marvelous! But Carol Burnett was backstage, and I was standing there, and she looked over and she said, boy, they should do this on Broadway, don't you think? And I went...
Do I remember anything? I know.
I sometimes come to a convention, I'm watching the show on television at night in a hotel room in Omaha, and there's an episode of Next Generation. I don't recognize the actors, story, and all Riker did was sit there. One singer said, okay, report, and you yak, 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 and Mark talks, and there were things that happened, I don't have any memory.
I've watched, I've been turning back, and there comes and it's a Data episode, and I have no memory of it. So, John. So what's your favorite?
I don't know. You know what? The episode that I think worked for everybody, and it was a really good episode, was All Good Things. Yeah. So, there were on so many different levels. It was a very good episode.
I like the episode of Picard when you guys, at your demise supposedly, in Picard, when you two had that connection and you were saying goodbye. I thought that was really nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, was this? Yeah.
Two, that's right.
I thought it was. We were asking about the card.
Well, just
show.
John Luke.
Yeah. Well, that was a good episode. That was a good scene. Very good scene.
What was the most meaningful role you've gotten to play, which could be a stage or screen role?
Meaningful. In what sense?
Personally meaningful.
Personally meaningful. I don't even know what that means.
How about, what's the most gratifying role? What are you most proud of outside of Trek that you've done?
I'm not proud of anything. I'm really not. I enjoyed several things. I wouldn't say I'm proud of. I think some were better than others, but none of them enough that I thought, see, look at me. No, I never.
Well, what did you enjoy the most then? How's that?
I don't think it's any of your business.
All right.
tell you what, probably the most fun I ever had. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've done some of the worst movies ever made. And those
I am the master of disguise.
Master of Disguise, classic. Master of Disguise. I don't know if you've ever seen this film, Master of Disguise, but it's a classic. I think it goes like this: Citizen Kane, Schindler's List, Master of Disguise. No, wait. Citizen Kane, Master of Disguise, Schindler's List.
What about your work on Mama's Family?
Yeah. Schindler's List, Mama's Family.
Night Court.
Night Court.
Night Court. Visiting Night Court last season. Remember that?
How about we just shout out everything I've ever done?
Leverage.
Big bag!
Leverage.
Did anyone say Material Girls? Out to sea. Actually, that's the most fun I ever had. Actually. We worked hard. You know what? I'm so enjoying this part of it. Were you on Big Bang? No. Were you on Big Bang? Stop! All right.
Captain Kim, finally.
In an alternate universe, basically. Yeah, thank you, though, for asking that. That'd be nice.
I mean, really, what difference would it make?
Promote him right now, come on.
It's fiction. I mean, you won't really be promoted.
No. Wait, you're not still an ensign, are you? I am. Dude, I feel your pain. 35 years before I got promoted. 35 years.
Let's just vote right now.
It's
How
way-
many for
Captain
promoting
Kim.
him right now?
Four pips. Okay. But according to what Jonathan said, 35 years of promotion. Next year's Voyager's 30th anniversary, so I got 5 more years. Oh, I got it from these guys. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. You were never promoted? No.
Lieutenant Commander?
How do you pronounce this name? Never became straight. M-A-T-A-L-A-S.
What? Say it again.
Metalis.
M-A-T-A-L-A-S.
Metalis.
Well, I did it wrong for a long time. I was going metal.
I was too. Brent?
Censor.
The TNG panel was a blast. I loved hearing Brent Spiner do a Patrick Stewart impression, and Jonathan Frakes really is the man. Now I'm waiting outside to see the Strange New Worlds panel. We couldn't wait inside the Hyatt Regency, where the panel is being held, so we're all waiting outside in Atlanta's famous heat, hills, and humidity, accompanied by some bees. We were waiting outside for at least 30 minutes, probably more, but we were finally making our way inside the Hyatt. Star Trek Strange New Worlds is one of the newer shows in the Star Trek universe, which is shown on Paramount+. It centers on Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike during his time in command of the USS Enterprise. And I'm so glad to get into the air conditioning.
Good luck on that promotion! I got promoted in the TNG panel by Gage McFadden. Sports team. Ethan, how many DRAGONCONs have you done now? 4. This is the 4th one? Yeah. And how much do you love this convention? A lot. Okay, good.
Hey Bruce, congratulations on your live D&D debut.
Hey, thanks.
How was it like for everyone to work with Tawny and Jack? On the crossover episode, Tawny Newsom and Jack Quaid.
Yeah, I think we all know. I think we're just trying to figure out who's gonna talk first. I'll go for it. And it's funny because I'm so used to being on rails with my dialogue, word for word, gotta have it as it's written. And they had some leeway, they were allowed to improvise and were encouraged to. And that brought a really cool, interesting element into our set and our daily routine.
I learned that, or is it for you, Ethan?
I think it's for everyone, or is it for everyone? Ask the question.
I don't know.
It's for all of you guys.
Okay. I learned that Babs was like a pro fighter. Like a very, yeah, you are. I mean, are you lying? Were you lying to me when you?
What I do when I teach students about the difference between mind memory and muscle memory is regum dallamos mine prospero pero kikelum superis perets kikul regum fretum ad sit cum po polis critiva ventivus primum scetriferis cola tu nantibus causa ferret ter go re can di do lulu kiki nam nini Gopla, che te asperi tu. Something, rite fanti boss. Nuc, incade, gradu, marci tu sempre, jo, pre, kingen, rosé, o temporavi culo, e tu ve, gemini previa, tempora stata salare de sembramentibus, timotri seventi, puri, nurus, primum radio, spagare, lucidos.
Hi, love the show. So one of my favorite things about Star Trek is the episodes that do like genre mashups, like Star Trek on a gangster planet, Star Trek but it's a fantasy. What genre would you most want your Enterprise crew to be a part of?
Western.
I don't know what's left. Is RoboCop a genre?
Could we see Lego?
What?
Lego?
Oh, Lego's a good idea.
Just pitching here, just pitching.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Christina, do you have a genre?
I don't know what genre it is, but I just want to do like an underwater episode where we have to learn to scuba dive. Ooh. But it has to be filmed in Mexico.
He like reads about this old game called basketball. To resurrect it, and we're all just terrible. Like we're just bounce the ball off our foot. We're like, what is the point? People keep asking if we're going to do another musical episode, and I think it's kind of one of those things that you do is you just leave it alone. You don't try to do anything. But I think that our port galley set is tailor-made for a karaoke episode.
Oh yeah!
The stage and the screen behind it, like that's a karaoke stage.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Short, a musical.
What is the most important thing from the Star Trek future that you would like to see now or see more of?
What is the most important thing from the Star Trek future that you would like to see more of, or would you like to see at all right now, right? Transporters. Okay. That's Bruce.
Yeah,
Christina? Transporters.
Yeah.
Okay.
The amount of times in my head I'm someplace that I don't want to be, it's not very pleasant, that I say, beam me up. Yeah. Don't you?
Hanson, what tech would you want to see?
I don't think the Federation is such a bad idea. I think we could all stand to listen to each other a little bit more. You know, it was Ronald Reagan was very famous for saying, he said, you know when we're gonna get to, you know when the United Nations is gonna work? You know when we're really gonna get together? When aliens land. That's when we're gonna decide, oh, we're on the same team.
In the teaser, some of the crew become Vulcan, which I thought was so amazing. So the question is, one, how amazing was that episode for y'all to film? Two, if you had an opportunity to do another episode like that, what species or alien would you want to be?
Who wants to take this?
It was a tremendous amount of fun. That was
it was such a blast to get to do that. And I have a whole new respect for this gentleman here and the job he has to do. The ears are not easy.
Not so bad.
I think we're due for a Telluride character. Yeah! Telluride. You know, it's...
Those are the ones in the cage.
Big face. Big faces.
Big face.
Okay.
Okay, so just to set everyone up who doesn't know, we had Truck Track had Subspace Rhapsody choreographed sing-along, and 3 of the actors showed up there, I think. Is that right? Okay, so the middle 3 right here. What'd you guys think?
Oh my goodness, it was incredible and so touching and moving. I felt emotional at several points.
I was cheering up during.
You did cheer up then? That's cool.
Yeah.
At other performer songs. Yeah.
You understand, like, we shoot these things in a black room, like, for our crew, right? And then suddenly to be in this hall where everybody is singing every word to every song is just like, wow, this is cool.
Which one of you is the most like your character, and which one of you is the least like your character? And you can talk about each other about that.
That's a hard question. And I want to continue working with these guys.
Very political. Good.
It's hard to say that the more I get to know everyone and the more I work with them, the more impressed I am with what incredible actors they are. So it's kind of hard to say.
I'd say Rebecca.
Most like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably so.
Oh yeah, I think that's spot on, yeah.
Rebecca Romaine is most like her character.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the least like their character?
I mean, Bruce is human.
He's not a Dorian? What?
I didn't know.
What's y'all's background with Trek? Were you guys fans from when you were little, or were you just introduced to Trek before starting the show?
All right, can we start with Bruce on the end? Bruce.
Thanks for the question. Yes, I was raised on Trek from the original series. Thanks.
I wasn't.
Answer? Yeah, I was. Bruce, you and I are probably about the same age, right? So yeah, I grew up during the time of when the original series was being syndicated on local UHF channels, Sunday night, 6 o'clock, out of Nashville. And yeah, my mom got me into it, and then I was hooked.
Thanks.
I was a big fan of the Kelvin timeline films. So I remember seeing the posters of Quinto as Spock and being like, that is so cool. How cool would that be?
Wow. Okay. All right. Babs, what's your Trek background?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of episodes when I was a kid, for sure. Reruns and, yeah.
Of the original series only?
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
My question is, you wear your Starfleet uniforms on a regular basis, but aside from the uniform, what was your favorite costume to wear, whether it was an away mission or the fantasy episode or just an episode where you wore a different look?
My fantasy dress, princess dress.
That was a great costume. Mine was very uncomfortable for that, because it was basically in a corset.
What is your favorite musical, like action musical, and would you like to sing something from it if you would like to? Because I've been asking this since the last time Frakes and Dorn were here, and they were hilarious with the answer to this question, so I'm interested to see what you guys say.
Christina Chong, favorite musical?
Chicago.
We sing a little bit of Chicago.
Come on. How does it go? All that jazz, how does it start? Come on, babe, we're gonna paint the town. And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll my stockings down. And all that jazz, hold on, hun, we're gonna bunny hug. I bought some aspirin down at United Drug in case we shake apart and want a brand new start to do that jazz.
See how they glisten, see how they shine in the light, etc., etc.
You regale us with
Oh God, okay. but then, you know, if I were to do one, I think I would want to do Three Penny Opera.
Okay, well then, from Three Penny Opera, that's something.
Oh God.
That's like, oh yeah.
Wie avenue thou gone, fremde.
Ghosty, I don't care very much. Eyes away, so if you kiss me and you go.
Two musicals. Okay. I don't even remember what they were.
Just sing RoboCop the musical. Do it.
I'm not singing anything. But there's a movie called Umbrellas Over Cherbourg that I love, which is a musical movie from the 60s, I think. Umbrellas Over Cherbourg? Of Cherbourg? Yeah, it's phenomenal.
There was a stage version of that Andre Saban directed at the Public with Meryl Streep. Long time ago.
Okay, so do you want to sing something for us?
Definitely not.
Okay.
But I bet Babs does. I bet Babs does.
You're a lover, a fighter, and a singer, right?
I was actually in a musical in high school.
Which one?
Oklahoma.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, go on, Babs, go on.
Oh, Judd is dead. Oh, poor Judd is dead. And he's looking. I don't know anything else.
Do you think you could do your iconic lines here?
Iconic lines that their characters have spoken throughout the run of the show. Okay.
Yes.
Any iconic lines for Babs, for the Doctor?
Bunnies? The one about bunnies? Yes. The one about bunnies.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? We're just gonna, I say something like, oh, we're just gonna poof into bunnies or something, and you say,
Yeah, I'd rather not be a bunny.
Ethan, what is your quintessential line?
Fascinating.
That's it.
Fascinating. I have quintessential lines.
Well,
hit it.
Hit it, right?
Hit it.
That's a good one. Bruce?
The magic of science prevails!
I have a question for the whole panel. And so what is, like, the coolest dance move that you know?
Coolest what?
Demonstrated for us.
Coolest dance move.
Yes.
Coolest dance move that they've ever performed in their life? Is that what you're saying? Or yes? Okay.
Oh!
What the?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh no. Is this favorite cosplay that you've seen at DRAGONCon, folks? What do you... Everybody jump in here.
Alright, Rick is dressed as Spock. You're an awesome Spock. Where are you? What's up?
Ever or just this DRAGONCon?
I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to the large group of Roman centurions that I photobombed yesterday. I couldn't help myself. they found out. Yeah. A great photo of myself, like with my hand on the shoulder of a centurion, and he's looking at me like.
He's like, "Where's your costume, dude? You didn't dress up. You didn't get the memo." Okay, so any time that you've been at DRAGONCON, Christina, it doesn't matter when. Like, what's your favorite costume?
I don't remember which cons are from which. Does it have to be DRAGONCON? No. Sorry, I did not swear then. Was there it always impresses me when people make the Princess Talia dress, and I don't remember if there was one last year. Yes. There was, okay, that for me is impressive because it's so hard to do, and you have to hand make that.
There's this couple that they dress up like the aliens from Vision Quest that go to the convention disguised as convention. Galaxy Quest disguised as fans.
Yes.
we are so happy to meet.
You were on my favorite TV show ever, Hell on Wheels. So was Cole Meany. So when you got the role of Christopher Pike, did you ask him for any tips to play a Trek character? And what were they? And to make it for everybody, did anybody else get any tips from anybody about how you should play in such a well-known franchise?
No, I mean, we were well done with Hell on Wheels by the time I got this job. We had Colm and I mean, being a Trek fan, Colm and I'd asked Colm a couple of questions here and there about Trek. Because our amazing director of photography on Hell on Wheels, Marvin Rush, was also, he started as a camera operator on Next Generation and then eventually became DP and directed a few episodes of, I want to say, Deep Space Nine.
Voyager as well.
There's a Voyager.
He's our DP, yeah.
And great.
He's awesome.
He's an amazing, so good.
Was he your DP the entire time on Hell on Wheels?
Yeah. And so the only thing I really remember Colin telling me about working on Trek is that by the time they finished and they went to move the trailers off of the Paramount lot, they had to reinflate all the tires because they'd been sitting there for so long.
I was just wondering if do y'all do each other's voices? Do you have somebody in the cast that you like to impersonate? And would you be willing to show us?
That's a good hell yeah. Don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
That's you.
You missed it, dude, yeah?
You do Pelia?
No. Which one do you do, Christina?
I don't
Which one
do
of us?
one. I don't do one.
Yeah, right.
Christina, can you impersonate like Rose or anyone? I mean, anyone else?
Who? Who's Rose?
I'm sorry, I said the wrong name. Celia.
Captain, we have an unnamed planet.
That was good. I like that. Yes.
Okay.
It's a Canadian. All right. So Hanson just did his Ethan Peck. Ethan is not going to do anyone, right? You can't. Okay. Abs.
No.
Okay.
He does this mostly in close-ups, right? And he likes the scene to drag on, so he has footage for transition. And so you'll get to towards the end of this, the camera's like panning and around you, and he was like, yeah. Now you're thinking about what you just did. Yeah. It's all coming back to you. Okay, yeah. Now you're kind of looking impatient for some reason.
While I watched it with you guys, filmed it with that 360 Unreal thing, and if you could just tell us about that process and other kind of CGI heavy stuff, that would be interesting. Thank you.
Anyone can take this?
Yeah, so you're talking about the AR wall. Okay, so it's kind of the latest revolutionary thing in filmmaking. And what it is we we have a studio dedicated to it, and when you walk into the studio space, you're immediately confronted by this. If you can imagine a floor-to-ceiling array of the backs of a bunch of high-definition TV screens, right? And then they're sort of in a semicircle, and you walk around it, and you're walking between the wall and the wall of the studio, and you walk all the way to about halfway down the studio, and then you turn around and you look back, and the whole thing is you're on the planet, right? And ceiling too.
So I was wondering, do you guys ever like watch like the show after you make it, and then like, what do you feel like when you watch it like at home? Like you're watching yourself. Like, what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, like I like to watch it with my wife or with friends to get their reaction because I know what happens. I like to see it come together with. I mean, they spend a year on the CGI for these shows, so it's great to see all the elements come together. Invariably, there's a moment where like, God, wish they'd used that other take, or they didn't quite get that thing I was going for, or stuff like that. But yeah, I love watching it.
Is that same for the other actors? Do you guys all enjoy watching yourself on screen, Babs?
Depends.
Okay.
But yeah, I tend to want to watch something alone before, just to know how much I need to hide away.
The panel was really fantastic too. I knew Christina Chong could sing because of her theater background, but she was fantastic. Also, the question from the girl about dancing was awesome, because I got to see instant mat dancing. I love that so much. I tried to get into the America's Mart to see the gaming, vendor, and pop artist selections, but the line was wrapped all the way around the building. But before I leave, I did get to visit the Walk of Fame and get pictures with Jonathan Frakes and Bruce Horak. I really enjoyed my first DRAGONCon. I saw the parade and the Star Trek panels, which is what I was really excited for. It was very crowded there. There were so many people everywhere. Atlanta was also busy with several other festivals, so the entire downtown and midtown areas were very busy. If I go next year, I'll probably head to the America's Mart first thing in the morning, then the parade, then maybe hear some live music during the evening. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!